fun and exciting. So I don't know. I love learning. I'm the learning junkie with the desire to share it all in some way, fashion, form.
Hi everyone, Elle Ballard is here today on the Empowered Global Women and Business podcast with my beautiful friend Kat. Kat, welcome.
Thank you, Elle. It is so great to be here and finally be on your podcast after, I don't
Yeah,
know, so long of hearing about it.
yes, I'm so excited to have this conversation with you. Thank you for taking the time. So, Kat Mitchell is a master life coach. She's a certified NLP practitioner and certified hypnotherapist who guides women leaders through powerful mindset shifts and emotional breakthroughs. With a deeply intuitive yet practical approach, Kat helps high achieving women release self doubt, imposter patterns, and the hidden stories that keep them playing small. Her signature style blends neuroscience, NLP, hypnotherapy, and heart centered coaching to create deep inner alignment and authentic outer confidence. I love it. I love reading this because it's such an important work, and there are so
Mhm.
many moving pieces that are involved, right? What sparked this interest in neuroscience and NLP, and which is so beautiful for us, of course, for our personal growth and development and everything. But how did you come to do it with your clients, to serve your clients with this?
I would say that I didn't actually start that journey of the NLP and the hypnotherapy and all the mind work with the thought of working with clients. I started it as a caregiver with my mom and her dementia and Alzheimer's. I started it with my brother after he had a stroke, and we were having to rewire neural pathways because it impacted three areas of his brain, and he couldn't even define a piece of fruit or a veggie, after all that, or string sentences together anymore. So I started on this journey of understanding the mind and really figuring it out. And then it's weird how the universe works. It's like, well, if you want to study this, and how about if we jump you over to this path and you can study the, brain science over here, and oh, welcome to NLP. And it's like, holy moly, I didn't even know NLP existed or what that was all about. And now
Right.
having, gone through the practitioner and the master programs of NLP, it's like there is so much to our mind that so many don't even understand until you actually dive into it and realize that our unconscious mind and our conscious mind think are there are different levels, there are different understandings and all of that. So that's how, I took everything that I was learning, for my health, for the, understanding the mind of family. And now it's like, oh, there's so many people I can help with these tools, with this understanding, with these learnings to help them really create these breakthroughs and move in, move towards their goals that they didn't even know were possible.
Yeah, I love that. I didn't know your story, your personal story with your mom and brother. So thank you for sharing that. That explains it. And of course, it's like you said. I'm always fascinated by this field and by the articles I read or the books I read. But of course, I'm just tapping probably the very top of the iceberg, because the neuroscience and hypnotherapy is just such an interesting field. And I agree with you, knowing my own experience, how my mind is thinking,
Hmm.
or when I'm facing an obstacle, or when I'm facing a challenge, how all these thoughts come up, that can inhibit. And it's good to have the awareness about it, right?
Oh, yeah, definitely. That's where it starts because we
Yeah.
can't really, you know, make changes until the awareness is there. And a lot of
Yeah.
times, we have a lot of stuff that stays hidden in our unconscious because, when we don't know it's there, we don't know what we don't know. And it's not until we step in or do something or have an experience or hear a phrase or a word where it suddenly triggers that thought or triggers that memory or triggers that belief that we go,
Exactly.
oh, where did that come from? Why am I experiencing that now? And that's because the unconscious mind, tends to keep us safe and houses all that information, but doesn't bring
Right.
it forward until we're ready to hear it.
Yeah, and that's until it's triggered and then it connects. Yeah, and unless we understand or we connect ourselves correctly to that experience and heal it, right? And
Mm-hmm.
understand it can come up again. Is that
Mm-hmm.
true? It gets triggered again, right?
Yeah. So, yeah, we're going to go deep on this one.
Yeah. It's
So,
just so fascinating to me how this, it works in the human mind. How it
right. So, between the ages of 0 and 7 is, what most people reference. Between 0 and 7, we have a lot of memories, a lot of beliefs, a lot of learnings, a lot of information that we
we
receive and
receive.
we
Hmm.
store, and
Hmm.
we store that in our memories. We store that in our cellular level. And for people who experience trauma, those negative emotions or, any type of trauma, whether it's a little trauma or whether it's a big trauma, we store all that information and those negative thoughts and those negative emotions. Anytime they're triggered on our timeline, so to speak, up until the present, into our future, anytime they're triggered, we go back to that memory. We go back to that experience. And it could be 0 to 7. It could be, I do work 0 to 7 in the womb, past generations. It's like generational trauma. All of that can
Right.
come forward and trigger us at different points in time. And the work that I get to do is releasing the negative thought and emotion tied to it. So the memory is still there, but then the negative thought and emotion doesn't trigger every time,
Mhm.
something that is similar or something that may have been triggered before. Now it doesn't get triggered because it's detached. We've broken that it's like we've clipped the rubber band so it doesn't snap back to that all the time.
Yeah, I love that. Hmm. Yeah, that is so wonderful. That's so wonderful. That's such a beautiful work to me because then we become limitless,
Mm-hmm.
and
Absolutely.
right, because what's stopping?
Yeah.
And we
Yeah.
all have different upbringing patterns or programming, right? That yeah, yeah, yeah. It's
Right. And
mhm.
yeah, I just received a testimonial from a young gal that I was working with the last couple weeks. And she's like, I came to CAP for wealth to understand where my challenges are so I can make more money. And darn it, if she didn't figure out that my problem was actually in family because I had this emotional pain that needed to be released. So we actually, in
Mm,
her case, we did a huge somatic release because she was carrying it in all of herself.
mm,
It's like, I want to work on this. And in her case, her dad kept coming up. It's like her dad this and her dad that. And, so it's like, all right, let's put that, we're going to table that wealth stuff. We got to work on the family stuff and find where that is really holding her back in her case. And, a lot of times that's what happens. We have, 9 areas of life that we're working with. And if there's a conflict in one of those, then it's impacting other areas, you know, and there's that
yeah,
tie we need to, release. We don't want to cut it, but we want to release it to allow for those that open flow and those open doors.
Yeah, 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 wonderful. That's so wonderful. Yeah, and it's amazing to me how one thing in her case was the money, but it's connected to completely different scenario
Hmm.
where unless you went there and you worked on it, she wouldn't have known.
Right.
But then it's kind of attached to her not getting where she wants to. It's just so interesting how it all can spill to different life areas, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, and yeah, and in her case, what we realize is, a lot of times we have that thought, oh, wealth is money. And
yeah.
she was
Mm-hmm.
depleted in the wealth of family.
Mm. Hmm.
So it's realizing that wealth is more than just, green dollar bills. Wealth,
Exactly.
goes
Right.
throughout so many areas of our life, and it's realizing that it's experiencing that it's, developing that knowledge and that feeling of what wealth is in
Hmm.
more than just the dollar bills,
Yeah.
and that. So
Wonderful. Love that. Love that. Yeah, it's just such a fascinating field. So interesting. I want to move into talking about you building a business as a woman and some of the lessons you learned. But first, before we go there, I want to ask, what does it really mean for you to be an empowered global woman in business and building a business as a woman on your own terms?
one, it's not the easiest thing I've ever done.
Right.
Yeah. So, you know, a lot of what I tell people, when they say, "So how is it building a business? It's got to be fabulous." It's like, well, there's the first learning of I am no longer just this one person on this one path. It's, I am like the whole board of directors for for my
That's
business.
right.
It's like,
Yes.
let's put the CEO hat on and let's strategize everything. Oh, let's take that off and put the CFO hat on and see if we can financially
Exactly.
afford the steps that we're going to take. And then we got to, put the COO on and see, how we're going to organize this and operations and what that looks like.
Right.
And so it's all these hats, and it's like, all
Yeah.
right, what hat am I wearing at this time? And then, I've just before this call, I met with an astrologist. Yeah, an astrologist to help me understand my chart and how my chart links to my business. And it's like, all right, if I look at my chart, what does my chart say that would be most beneficial to my business? So these are the things that when I started my business, I didn't think about astrology and business. What's that?
Yeah.
It's like,
Right. Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
like I didn't even know stars and moon and
Yeah.
sun
How is
all
that connect?
connected to business.
Right. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but there's so much science and there's so much information out there.
Yeah.
And the first thing I will say is it's not shutting the door on that information. It's realizing the power of the information. It's realizing the power of the learning. And it's always continuously doing the internal work and not just focusing on the external. It are
Love
the
that.
the
Yeah.
gifts of being in business, are the strengths of being in business. Does that make it easier? No. And it makes it fun and joyful, and it allows for the creativity and experimentation to come into the experience.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
So those are the things I think of when you say, oh, empowered woman in business. Yeah,
Yeah.
you have a lot of power, and it's realizing that there's not just one defined path. It's this whole blossoming effect.
Hmm. Yeah. Beautiful. Yeah. I love how you mentioned the inner growth. And to me, and someone said, if you want to grow, open a business, start a business or something. It's just, I couldn't agree more, right? Because it testing so many sides of you in a good way. And
Mhm.
I definitely, if I look at myself back a few years back, the growth is amazing, and I'm so grateful for that. And that's just one of the things, in addition to all the other things, of course, and lessons and that we experience. Yeah, so thank you for mentioning that. I think it's so important to continue on this um, path of inner looking at ourselves, at myself first, and continue. I know you do that because you just returned back from another growth experience that will contribute to your clients experience with you as well. Yeah, which is wonderful. um, yeah, so some of the lessons on this path that you experience, and maybe one big lesson, and I know there are so many, but if you could share one of the biggest lessons for you that you learned on this while building a business.
I will say that one of the biggest lessons is surround yourself with people that can assist.
Yeah,
You,
exactly.
I have tried and tried to do everything myself. It's like, all right, if I do everything myself, I'm not going to have to spend this money, and I'm not going to have to spend this money. And if you do everything yourself, then what you may have been able to accomplish in 10 hours is going to take you 40 hours.
Hmm.
And realizing that, our skill set, where we shine in our skill set, might be limited to this path. And what we're trying to do when we're doing all this other stuff is we're shutting down our creativity and our love and our passion and our joy in the area that's going to really help us thrive and move forward.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I so agree. It's such a good and profound lesson, because that's what happens at the beginning, right? We want to do it all, but the fact of the matter, we cannot do it all. It's
Yeah.
just not possible. And yeah, and of course there's money, but even money aside, I think um, just one person individual cannot. It's just not possible. Yeah, yeah, I can definitely relate. When starting business, I actually overspent at the beginning, coming from the corporate, and overspent a little bit at the beginning, but then looking back, still realizing that some expense need to be made, or but yeah, it's so important to be surrounded. Thank you for that reminder.
Yeah. I overspent also. And a lot of that was like, oh, that wasn't the smartest move. Because
Yeah,
what you don't know what you don't know. It's like, all right, can't be
yeah,
that hard. Everybody says business is easy. Those that have
yeah,
been in business say it's easy. So if it's easy, I can figure it out. I'm a smart woman. It can't be that difficult. And then you make some moves and like, yeah, that wasn't a smart move. Let's try this one. Ooh, that one hurt too. It's like,
yeah. Yeah, I love it.
and it's realizing everything that you learn in the process,
Yes, it's a
um, and
lessons.
how
Yeah,
powerful that is. So it's
yeah,
really not staying in the negative of the experience,
yeah,
and
exactly.
realizing the gifts and gratitude of what that has now taught you in the process.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly. Oh, so good. For our listeners today, we will post links on how to connect with Kat. And if someone is listening to us right now, how can they find you? How can they connect with you?
So I'm definitely on Facebook, at Kat Mitchell. I'm on LinkedIn at Kat Mitchell. I am somewhat on Instagram. My website, path, the number two, discovery.com is a great place. And I have a membership coming up that's going to be opening doors soon. So I'm
Nice,
excited for that to blossom.
exciting!
Yes.
Yay! 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 Yay!
Um, yeah. So, and
Awesome,
it's going to be really, really inexpensive for those that get in soon. So definitely want to
beautiful.
connect with me.
Beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, and I'm looking forward to our event in person in Houston as well,
Yes.
coming up in October. Kat will be there speaking and sharing her knowledge. So if you are in the Texas area, of course, come join us or not. I have a few people actually coming out of state, so just come and visit us, and yeah, it will be a beautiful event. I'm looking forward to that, and seeing you
Cool.
there and in person. And
Yes.
yay! Let's see. So I know you just finished the training to continue talking about the continued growth and improvement. What is when and you mentioned the memberships, which I did know. Congratulations, that's awesome. What is next? Maybe there's something you can talk about that's coming up for you and in your business, if there
So,
is. Mhm.
well, the membership is one of the things that I wanted to create, that community, that connection, and how the membership is going to start, because I have so many people that want to sample Reiki or sample meditation
Yeah,
and aren't really understanding how the experience will be. So I'm going to start with like a weekly group meditation Reiki session as part of it. And then, I have some other tools that are in the works right now. So there might be a little breath work coming in, and there
beautiful.
might be some discounts on hypnotherapy. So being in the membership allows for some discounts on some of the other things that I do, some group programs that are coming out of this latest training and understanding, and all the ways I can help people. I want to be able to give people a way, my community, my members, a way to do the work that they are interested in, with that, with a little bit of a little more ease and a little more understanding of what's possible, and really
Yeah.
open up some doors.
Wonderful. Congratulations on that. I'm looking forward to hearing more um, on that as well. But yeah,
Awesome.
check out Kat Mitchell's website and all the links that she has shared, and we will post them here as well on the podcast and on the video
Thank
on
you.
YouTube as well. Yeah, you're welcome. Now, with that, I want to move to the rapid fire question section of our conversation. Are you ready?
I think so. We'll see.
Your favorite book name is, or it
Ooh.
could be the book in the
So
plants, I guess.
we have a new book we were interested in, and it's all about talking to your guides. It's called,
Talking to your guides. Ooh,
yeah, Hiring the
what is?
Heavens.
Wow, interesting.
So I just learned about this book at a Reiki Business Summit. And somebody said, "Hey, if you want to learn to, be more connected to your guides, then read this book." And I'm like, "All right, got it."
Beautiful. Yeah, sounds amazing. Yeah, hire the heavens.
Hiring the Heavens.
Hiring the heavens. Okay, okay, interesting. Yeah, I haven't heard that one. Very cool. Okay, winter or summer?
Summer.
Beach or mountains?
Ooh. Um, Beach with some mountains also.
Yeah, I love that. Favorite international destination to visit?
Oh, uh, there's so many I haven't visited yet. Turkey's right up there because I spent 6 weeks there and loved every minute of it.
Yeah, I love Turkey
Um,
too.
and I was just in Thailand at the elephant sanctuary, and that's also high on my list because I really enjoyed it there too.
Pretty
But I
cool.
have
That's
more coming up, so I don't
yeah.
know. That's gonna change. There's gonna be. I'm gonna have like a whole list of number ones.
Yes, 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 yes. I know there's so many great destinations. It's hard to choose, right? There's so many, and they all unique in their own
Hmm.
way. Yeah, it's yeah. Okay, and the final question is things that you have discovered about yourself recently. Things that you have discovered about yourself
Oh,
recently.
things yeah. Well, I'm still stubborn. I'm still persistent. Um, and I love what I do.
Mm,
Things that I have recently discovered. my inner woo just keeps, popping out with my hypnotherapy, my Reiki, my breath work. And now I'm studying past life regression, which is something totally new
Yeah, interesting.
and fun and exciting. So I don't know. I love learning. I'm the learning junkie with the desire to share it all in some way, fashion, form.
Beautiful. Yes, I love it. I love it. Well, thank you for playing. Thank you, thank you. And as we close, thank you, Kat, for being here
Thank
today, for
you.
taking the time. Always great to talk to you. I'm looking forward to seeing you soon in a couple of weeks in person. And if there's anything else you want to close with today, feel free to do so.
Stop hiding. Get the work. Do the work. Get in touch with somebody and shine your light. The world needs your light to shine.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you, my friend.
Thank you.
I will see you soon.